Are you ready? Let's go. Well, here we are. Let me give Rick his microphone back. How are you doing, sir?
Happy Easter Eve to you and all you guys out there.
Happy Easter weekend, folks. Danny Irvin, possible timeline for aftermarket parts? There aren't any really aftermarket parts, and we aren't selling the whiskey. You're going to have to find that on your own for swag items.
We do.
Jim at Salvino.us got the part. So anyway, what do you have?
We are going to do aftermarket items. We just got to get there. As Jim's going to show you today, he's still working on a Lotus 38. Got that. But the first batch, remember we have, we had to make an extra 250 and most of those are eaten up, but there are a few, and Marco did put them on the site. I'll remind people later when they come in. But if you do want one, grab them right away. But it's a May delivery, as I recall, right, Jim? Isn't that what Marco said on Thursday or Tuesday?
Let me look if it's on the other sheet.
It's a later delivery, but we didn't have enough to give to Fanatics.
Yes,
and they pre-sold them all. They're sold out. Same with JR Motorsports, sold out. Mm-hmm. So you have to make them in groups of X amount. So he had to make an extra 250, but I think he burned through the majority of them. There were some left over. And as I recall at the meeting, there's some on the website that you can get, but you get them in May, I think.
Aha. Okay. Let's see. Right? I got to send out a new email. You keep talking.
Oh, okay. So anyways, I was sitting here actually building models. Jim called me, I had my coffee. I was doing a couple firewalls. And we were talking about, he was all excited about the Travelers whiskey car. And I know a ton of you guys are. I mean, let's face it, you guys I'm the older half of the group here. I'm older than Jim. I'm older than Matt. And, my days were much earlier, Jimmy Clark, Richard Petty. And now I don't know. I think, I don't know. I really don't have an actual driver in Cup because we're in the business. I think it kind of pushed, it kind of was Kyle Larson because my dad liked him. And Chip Ganassi, but now, and of course, used to root for the 43. Now, kind of just root for the company, Yeah. I mean, I kind of like Joseph Newgarden when he came up, but that same paint scheme ain't going to cut it the third year. So I hate to say it, Joseph, I'm going to turn tail on you this year and root for somebody else. I'm going to get a T-shirt, anybody but Joseph. I hope you're not watching, Greg, but one of your other two cars. We'll go with that. But but it would be a hell of a feat. Even if you really think about it, it would still be a hell of a feat for someone to win 3 in a row. No one's ever done that. It's never happened in history. Matt didn't have a link, huh?
So anyways, get into his email for some reason, so he set up a new email account. There he is. I'll let the man explain it to you himself. Morning, Matt.
Morning. I got locked out of my old email accounts that I've had for decades, and
had to start like Monday morning.
Yeah,
well, you stay off those sites, Matt.
Oh, tell me about it. They kill you.
Those model car sites will kill you.
They'll kill you.
Yep.
But anyways, we're talking about there's a, and you had heard, you were on the meeting. There's a few Travelers Whiskey's cars left for May because we had to make that 250 more because we couldn't. Everybody sold out. You know, Fanatics sold out. JR Motorsports sold out. Whatchamacallit? It doesn't come out on the camera, Jim.
Yeah, I know. But it's a little more creamy in reality.
It's called antique white in the plastic. Calls it antique white.
Antique white,
which is funny.
Yeah, but I don't know.
On the box art, it looks on the box art like it does in the camera when I hold this up, but it's actually in reality it's just got a little bit more brown to it. So it's
beautiful.
Yep. And Clay knocked it out of the park on the decals.
Oh yeah,
of course.
But he always does. But yeah, looking forward. Got some great stuff. We got been talking with Ron Capps now that they made their announcement. I forgot her name, but he said that he explained her little girl is the way Paul explained it to me. But they're gonna have a top fuel car. It's not official if it's Napa or not, so we'll have to wait and see. You know, if that turns into a Napa car, which would be great. But Napa's got that tool line, so who knows? I have no inside info.
That's cool.
But kind of cool that Ron's doing it. And Jim's got actually a 3D printed body already done of that car. I know he's finishing up the investment casting on the Lotus 64, right?
I am.
Oh, there it is.
Here's
he's doing it, and Matt's finishing up the resin casting on the Lotus 38. So we should be showing some stuff probably next Saturday, right, Matt?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Some parts and pieces and
they're looking
tires
good.
and I think we'll have the metal. The metal's all at Michael's. So he's going up the molds. He's trying to get an extra couple bucks out of us because Jim did it in bronze, and he's saying it sticks to the mold. I'm calling BS. He don't watch this show.
Can I come up with that kind of excuse?
He says that the bronze is sticking to the rubber.
The bronze sticks to the rubber, and that he has to do something special, and it charges money. Yeah, you might want to tell us that before we do it, huh? I call, what is that word? BS? Bull? Something?
Effluent.
Can I come up with something and I'll let you know tomorrow?
No, because I did your project for 20, I don't know, 30 years or whatever the hell.
How come I can't ever do that?
I know his project. Yeah, I'm calling BS.
Yeah.
Spray some silicone mold release on it real quick before you put it in the mold.
That's real easy to do because Jim gave me like 2 cases of that. I'll never have to buy mold release ever again the rest of my life, nor will my grandchildren and their children.
Yeah.
We used to go through, in the old days, when we had the factory, Jim, we used to go through a couple of cans of that a week, huh?
Oh, easy. We
used to fire through that stuff, man. That's why I used to buy it by the case.
And I got them.
Well, I really use it. I didn't really put it on the part much. I used it just for the separation sides. I tried to always stay away from the part, so I wouldn't get any residues.
I will just give mold, especially as they get more used, I give them a spritz of it, like right before, in the beginning of a casting session, and just do one and let it soak in. And it's just to hydrate the mold and keep it pumping out product longer.
Oh yeah.
I don't really need it. I don't really need it to release. It's more to preserve the mold.
Yeah. Keep it from turning white.
Yeah.
That's when you know you burned it. When the tips start turning white and brittle.
Yeah.
But a bunch of old molders here. We started I was barely in my 30s, right, Jim?
Barely.
If I was 30.
That was back in the 60s
when we started casting.
Let's see. I started.
I was still a little boy in the 60s.
Let's see. What year did I start using Silpack stuff? Probably mid 80s is when I started using their material. Yeah.
It was about.
And I started in 88, 89 when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
I started in 90. So I'm a newbie compared to you guys. I started in 1990.
Really close. Oh, you're a baby.
I know.
I started the year before.
I started at a company it was a local company. We did industrial models. Fisher Design here in Phoenix, they were called. And man, I learned a lot working there. That was cool. That was an awesome experience, and that's what got me kicked off.
Remember how hard the rubber was?
Yes.
You used to buy it. They only sold it in paint gallon cans.
Oh yeah.
And the rubber was that darker blue. And oh man, what a nightmare.
Yeah, that stuff was tough. The resin wasn't pleasant.
Now you get 5-gallon bells, and it's you can twist it around and all you can do. Yep. So cool now.
When I worked on that first project with Rick, I got some rubber from Hastings Plastic in Santa Monica, California. It was white, and if you mixed it really hot, that stuff was setting before you got it out of the cup. But we were in such a hurry, it was okay. We wanted it to kick that quick.
And what he did, Matt, it was a one-shot deal. He literally put the original. Well, you only ever had one shot with Jim's work because he would turn it to wax. So you only ever had one shot. Yeah. So he just sliced it in half with a razor blade and pulled it out and then held it together with rubber bands, I think, Jim. And you only did one master. We did that whole production with one master.
Yeah, that's
well, what do we know?
Get that thing. Head to Taiwan with it.
Well, that was back when you had to.
Wayne was there. We had to ship it to him.
That was back when you had to hand make your masters. You only got one.
Mm-hmm.
My very first mold I did. Probably early 90s. I still have it. And I could pop a body on it, but nobody would want it. It was horrible. And it was for mass production of models I was building. It was of the Chaparral Camaro I was doing for the guy who owned it at the time, and he would sell them at the track. So I would build little they were just curbside, blacked out windows with, slammers that I'd make. And it was just a resin body with tires just up in it and black windows. It was cool, but it took a lot. I had to do a lot of work. Yeah, I had to do a lot of work to that body when it popped out of the mold back then. I didn't know what I was doing. Not that I really know now, but
it's come a long way.
It's come along. Oh, the material.
3D. Yeah, 3D printing's come. 3D printing hit a brick wall about a year ago or 2 years ago. I don't know, 3 years now. How long's it been? 3 years, Jim? When they came out with the ABS like material. That was a game changer. As far as prototyping.
It's
what
like
we do. Let's model it.
It's like the printing is getting to a point where you're not going to be able to make it appreciably better. They've just kind of hit they've just kind of hit a wall. Like you said, it's the materials are great. The fidelity of the printers is like, why waste your time going any farther? It's just now it's how quickly will the materials cure and how quickly can you get them done, and et cetera. So okay.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people
I mean,
there's a lot of people asking. Dark Horse, when is that shipping? Is that going out this week? The Jolo kits?
Yeah, it could have went out yesterday, but we chose to put it out on Monday because I was the only one at the office, and guess what I said? Don't deliver because I ain't unloading the truck. Chris had a doctor appointment, and Marco. Sorry, guys, any of you guys that ordered it, but hey, I ain't unloading the truck. Sorry, by myself.
Yep.
So it could have went out yesterday.
Old man with a sore back.
Yeah, no, I don't have a sore back.
I think it'll be okay.
But I figured, we'll just do Monday when the whole gang's there. But yeah, so anyway, they're done. And so is that one Jim just showed you, the Travelers, they're done. So anyone that ordered the Travelers before the cutoff date can, I like Jim's little dog. It says, go down and like.
I'm looking at it. I was like, what's happening right
I can't read it. I'll be honest with you, Jim. You need to get that script a little better. Our brains don't work that fast.
It doesn't matter what it says, Rick. They see the thumb up.
Yeah.
They
we just need to get more. We just need more to get in more.
That's
more deals. More guys we get, the more. By the way, Fanatics is moving along with the EDI system. Marco and the young lady over there, I don't know her name, can't think of it, but the girl that works with Justin are down to the home stretch, so you should see probably not our full line, but probably our top 30 items, 20, 30 items on there all the time. And we'll be managing that. Of course, that won't be on there, but that one's probably going to sell out. That's one of my favorites.
I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm very sad. No, I'm worried.
You know what? There was a bunch of failed labels. I'll have to check it on Monday. There was a bunch of failed.
Got a failed label.
Oh, that's
there was
story of my life.
It was 8 as of the meeting on Tuesday that we found, and I found one more, so there's at least 9. I don't know, something happened to this. It's an automated system, and it printed. It says when you go in to look the guy up, it says failed label. Even though he paid for it, he did everything. When the printer went to print it, the thermal printer, it failed. I don't know, but it didn't. It doesn't give you notification.
That's what they used to call me in high school.
Failed notification.
Failed label. No, I didn't know what it meant, but now I do.
There's the Dark Horse, baby.
Rick, I got 2 boxes loaded. I ask you before I show. One is the SVG. Can I show the SVG box?
I don't know if it's approved. I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, I'd say it's not.
Okay. And then
I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay. And then the other is the Kyle Larson box for the Charlotte race.
Oh yeah, you can show that. Well, it's really not a box; it's a placeholder.
Yeah, this is a placeholder.
That's not the box you're going to get. You're going to get a picture of Kyle driving the car on the track. That's just a placeholder. That's just so Fanatics can pre-sell it, and we can pre-sell it. But yeah, it's just a placeholder. So that isn't what your box is going to look like. But great car. And you can show the Indy one too.
Nice.
Did you do the Indy one?
Bam.
I'm showing it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that
need to do
looks cool.
a box on that one too. But it's still a placeholder because just in case one decal changes or whatever. Like we did the rollout car last year, and they ended up putting the Hendrix.cars.com on the back cowling. So there was a little bit of difference. So this year we're going to wait till after the race to order the decals and use a race photo.
If we don't use that black background on that Larson car, I'm going to use that on another one. I dig that black background.
Yeah,
It's nice.
That one.
Yeah, the Kyle Larson, that's sure to be a quick sellout. Hopefully he wins one of the races. I would say long shot on Indy. That's a tough one. And there's William, that's coming in May.
Yep.
William Byron coming in May.
I'm looking for that one.
Perry, I think that's May too, I think,
I'm looking forward to that one right there.
I'm looking forward to the one you're working on. The real version of it. That's my favorite right there.
This was March, right?
What?
The Petty Riverside winner. That was March, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was March. Shipped in April, but yeah. that Joey Ford kind of slid in a little late. Boy, did we luck out. We made that mold in China, which we have a place now in Florida that we're going to make them. But, boy, we made it by like days. Otherwise, 145% tariff. Woo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, good
I know someone who got nailed for a container coming over, and they were told to receive their container. When it got to port, they were going to have to pay another $130,000, and it was $70,000 worth of product in his container.
Ouch!
Yeah, that's steep. Had to reject it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, good for
us.
He
already paid the $70,000. So
see what it says on that box? Made in USA. It costs nothing.
Yep. Yep.
No price increases.
And so you got a place now here in the U.S. in Florida
for making molds. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was the last one we'll probably make overseas, and it's kind of cool. We lost Matt there. There he is. Came back, but yeah, we'll be making even our molds here now. So it's going to be good.
He's here in this with the audio, but not the video.
Yeah, my camera keeps failing.
Oh, is that your PC that's still buzzing?
Probably. I don't know.
It sounds like the phone on mute and buzzing on the table. So
yeah. But I mean, the reality of our kits, they don't cost more because these other companies, it's really. I mean, just to straighten you guys out on it, it's not cheaper to make model kits in China. Maybe $1 if you're lucky, right? The reality is the tooling's there. It used to be a big savings. And of course, as the Chinese economy grew and grew and grew, the savings isn't what it used to be by any means. But to send all that stuff over here and get it in a mold shop and whatever is a lot of money. And so that's why guys have continued to make the stuff overseas. So it's just a matter of them pulling the trigger. And I'm sure if you're bringing over tooling to open up, to go to a mold shop in America, there'll be no tariff on that. I mean, that's, you're setting up, you're pulling out. So, those guys will be fine. It's just, they got to just reorganize it, but don't worry about it. Models, they're not, the reason their models are cheaper than ours is because they don't have to pay for different licenses. They only pay one. And they also don't buy cartograph decals. They don't buy cartograph decals. They don't have Jim putting too many parts in the damn box. And but
people love us for it.
The thing is, their models are. We need to simplify some of ours. We understand that.
We will.
And the IndyCar we nailed. I mean, that's right at open wheel, 1/20th open wheel caliber, and the fits are great. The next gen car has too many parts. I'll just say that right now. Should have probably cut around 25% out of that. And we didn't have the ability. That was before the ABS-like 3D printed material was available. So there was no way to pre-fit that car until it was in steel. So, things are better now. Everything we do from the IndyCar forward is much easier with the stuff we have. But I don't see model cars, increase. Well, at 145, they're going to increase in price or whatever it is, 245. I don't know what the little war going on right now, but that's going to end, and we all know it. Okay, it's just it's a negotiation right now. Let's be honest. Got two hard heads. It's not wanting to cave, and
in some ways,
I mean, our decal problem.
In some ways, it's to our benefit, guys. We're one of our licensors. They're not getting their product from China for some of their hats and coats and shirts and all that stuff, and so they decided they're going to be pushing our models so that they've got more stuff to sell on their website. So
where it's really benefiting this company, guys, the big way it's benefiting this company, if you live in Brazil, you live in Europe, they not only have the import duty, but then they have a thing called a VAT tax or something like that, where they throw an extra tax on top of it. So now the world is going to be able to buy our kit for 10% over retail, which is phenomenal for us. So these tariffs are really going to help a little American-made company like us. So, you can understand why we're for them. It's selfish, but you can be against them. I could care less. But we're definitely for them. They worked out the Italian one. It looks like it's even going to come down lower. So it's only at 10% right now. And it looks like the decals aren't going to be an issue at all.
Awesome.
So we don't have anything. So we look like we're sitting good. And they'll figure out China, guys. I mean,
one of our friends in Japan said that Aoshima has started to ship their molds back to Japan from China, so they can do their production there in Japan.
Because the bottom line, when you add shipping in, the reason people are in China went out and underbid everything and subsidized it, right? So to explain to you guys what they did, they went out and they said, let's say it cost them $3 to make it. We'll make it for $1.50, and the government subsidized the other $1.50, right? So, well, hell, I gotta go. It's a big savings. Then once they got you there, after the years and years, the price keeps going up, just like your car insurance you see all the time, and your house insurance, and pretty soon, you're not saving any money, but you're there, and it costs you a lot of money, to bring it here. It's just like if you look at Toyota, is real simple for you. Toyota assembles here, but they build their transmissions and engines over in Japan. It's not cheaper to build them in Japan. It's just you don't have to invest in another building to build them here. In the long run, it'll be cheaper to build them here, because now you don't have to ship. So it's all common sense, and the great thing for us is the guys in Europe and in South America and all of our friends in down under are going to get our kits a lot cheaper, and that's why we're stoked, because
that'll be nice.
Going that way was a fortune, man. Those guys were paying like $90 a kit, $100 a kit. You know, they were getting beat up, and so I'm excited that we'll be able to sell more worldwide. But anyways, off the tariff crap, which is a good thing for us, made in the USA. But I don't look at it made in the USA as much as what the tariff coming this way. I'm not worried about, because we make it here. I love the idea of lowering the tariff going out, to where Japan gets our stuff cheaper. Australia. Actually, Australia is already pretty low. I think it's one country we have a deficit with, but England, Europe, all of that, we sell a lot to. What do we have on here? There's some guys in the club wearing like Finland or Norway. We've
got Finland,
but I mean,
we've got some in the UK. Yeah, we've got Australia too.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to save some money. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. And the new IndyCars, I think now Roger's saying 2027 is a drop dead, which would be cool. Jim will be making a new IndyCar if that happens. That's coming. We get that funny car going. We got the Lotus 38. I think, like I said, next week I think we'll be able to show some stuff, right, Matt?
Oh yes.
We're going to be able to show some body parts, and I don't know. I don't think we'll have
all the body parts,
but we'll be able to start showing parts. And the funny cars moving along.
Yep.
And hopefully this economy, gas prices are coming down, except for in California, Matt, by the way.
And our gas went up. The parts for the Lotus 64, so that's going to be ready to go pretty quick. And getting back to work on the funny car. So good morning, Paul Swoosh.
The funny cars. Yeah, that's crazy that I talked to guys on the phone all week, and some guys a couple of them, I don't know where they live, but they were hitting the 190s, right? High 190s for gas a gallon. And I'm sitting there going, ours has gone up. I mean, really? I don't know what the hell's going on in this state.
You've got
gas is what, 60 a barrel, I think.
Rick, you've got a communist in charge.
No, we don't have a communist in charge. We got an idiot in charge. I think I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I'm not a real political dude by any means, but we have idiots in charge, I think, from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
But great weather, right, Matt? Great weather.
Well, are you guys ready for a
great weather?
I'll play the video with you and Matt, or you and Clay.
I don't have to pee, but go ahead.
It'll give Matt a time to find a stick to beat that.
I'm going
computer into submission.
Yeah, this is the last part with Clay.
Whoops.
Hey, welcome back. I got Clay Kemp with me again today. Clay's been part of our company since actually the Gray Ghost drew the decals. So Clay, I wanted to get a little background because I don't know, how the heck did you get into the whole decal thing, the designing of decals, and how'd that all come about?
Well, my real job was doing racing T-shirts. I had started doing that when I got out of high school with my brother, and I was responsible for putting all the decals on the cars, making the cars look shiny, doing the actual separations to make the cars look cool on a T-shirt, basically. And it was so similar to doing decal artwork. I didn't even realize it at the time, but I was creating logos and sizing things. And at the time, I got to be friends with Chris Etzel, who used to do the IndyCar kits. He lived about an hour north of our shop, in Lafayette, and he was self-employed, and I think he struggled at times, being self-employed, and he was doing decal artwork on the side to try and stay busy, and he ended up coming to work the same place I did. I got him to come to work at Arizona Sport Shirts where I was doing the same thing, and between the two of us, we just talk about doing decals, drawing stuff. We would draw IndyCar plans and stuff, just screwing around. But at the time, I think he was working for a guy named Mike Quarterman out in California. And he would do, if Mike had too much work, he would send it over to Chris, to fill in, help him out. And along that same time, Chris started doing stuff for William BSR Hobbies down in Georgia. And he was working for John Schaefer at Just Want to Build a Model, doing sheets. And I kept begging him to let me try and do one. Put me in touch with one of these guys, let me try and do a sheet. And he never, he didn't want to give up the work or something, I don't know. But eventually he put me in touch with John, I think was who I worked for first. And 2003, I think.
John who? Who was that?
John Schaefer from Just Want to Build Models.
Okay.
So I think 2003 was one of the first ones I did that was an actual decal sheet. I mean, at the time I was doing stuff for myself, like printing on an Alps printer, for my own projects. But doing it for, aftermarket decals was a lot more work, a lot more intense. You had to be a lot more precise, basically. So Chris helped me figure out how to set up the artwork for printing over a cartograph. So I started doing that and started picking up more and more work between John and William. And then about, a couple years into that, Chris started fading out of it. He didn't want to do so much of it anymore. So, I would do my real job all day and then work on decal artwork at night for those guys.
And then, so it progressed, and then from there, you met Mike Herman. How did that all come about? Because I
think that was about 2006 or 7. Mike and John got together and we're going to work on some projects together. And then we did a few that were for both of them. And then I think not long after that, John got out of it. And then I started doing stuff for Mike full time on the side. Mm-hmm. Doing all of his artwork for Power Slide decals.
Yeah, it's been a game changer for the hobby,
Yeah, Mike's wide open all the time. He just doesn't slow down.
No, that's how it's funny. Whenever we were getting into it, we're going to do the Gray Ghost, right? Well, I knew this Mike Herman dude because I didn't know him, but I've been buying decals on Mike's decals, right?
Yeah. I
had no idea he produced them, that he made them. I just go, wow, this guy's got great decals, And so, but I did know the guys over, oh gosh, I forgot his name now. Over at Slicks.
Gene.
Yeah. So I knew Gene because he was out in California and he had moved back, retired from the phone company.
Yeah, went to Georgia.
Tried to get a hold of him. He didn't return my calls. So I figured, what? I don't know. I didn't think that Power Slide was Mike's decals, right? No idea. So I figured, screw it. I'm going to call this Mike guy, right? Maybe he'll put me in the right direction.
Yeah.
And of course I called him and he goes, no, those are mine, And it was kind of funny at the beginning. He was keeping you so secretive.
Yeah,
it was.
I kept myself secretive too.
You can't talk to him. Well, I'm sure they used to think, he was protecting what he did.
Yeah, I remember.
We laugh about
when he told me about you. He's like, "You're not gonna believe this. This guy's starting his own company. He's gonna make his own kits." And he says, "You're gonna do the decals for him." So that was how it got started.
Well, how stupid. Let's face it. We sold so many Gray Ghosts because I think most people thought we wouldn't make it past the Gray Ghost, right? Yeah. So, but they
limited
didn't
edition.
Realize, yeah. Well, they didn't realize that me and Jim came from the figuring, 20 years in manufacturing of figurines that would figure it out. And, the key is getting the best people around you. And that's what we were fortunate to, by looking at the decals, it was obvious that the Power Slide decals were superior to all the other decals.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's due to Cartograph too. They're so good.
Oh yeah, but I mean, when you looked at the whole package, it was obvious they had the best decals out there, and it was like, well, hell, if we can get these, that'd be an added bonus. And then as time goes on, we get the next gen car and the current cars and four color process and the first one had a hot stamp. That's right.
Yeah, the chrome foil.
That's why we used Cartograph on that first one.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I really think that Cartograph has improved just in our little time of being in business.
Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, they just keep getting better and better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, now we're covering a whole car. I mean, what was that like when you did? Well, I mean, when was the first time you did that? Where you covered a whole car?
That rollout Camaro had quite a few on it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It was a challenge, and that one went pretty rough, if I remember right. Because Cup cars up until then had been pretty flat. And then we get to that Camaro with the stepped rear quarter panels, and that thing was a nightmare to begin with. But I think the Exalta Byron had quite a bit on it. But then maybe one of the Ally cars probably was the first one that was like a full wrap that had decals on every bit of it.
I think the green one that I forget the name. It's that workout gear energy drink. I don't think there's a piece of paint showing on that thing.
The Interstate battery one had all that lightning on it.
Yeah, there's some of them where there's maybe some see-through paint, from the white, the clear, but I mean they're pretty much just covered,
Yeah.
And I mean you've been nailing it. I mean,
I never would have thought some of those were possible. Like, to get it all line up and everything to fit, but somehow they end up working out.
And then the Indy cars are very similar. I mean, they have tons of coverage,
Yeah, and they put the same decal all over those cars, like the same sponsor being 15 different places, I thought some of those sheets were going to be pretty small when we first started. And it's like, this thing's going to be 2 full sheets by the time we get done.
Mm-hmm. My favorite work you've ever done is the carbon decal. I mean, we're in generation 2 of it.
Right.
But that's got to be the biggest sheet of decal in the history of model car kit.
Yeah, I mean, you said just make it fit in the box, and it barely fit.
Yeah. But I mean, you add it to, it's crammed on there and it fits. I mean, if you guys haven't seen our IndyCar box, it's quite a bit larger than the regular.
That's a lot of decals.
Kit. It's actually bigger than Tamiya boxes. It kept growing because, we had to get your decals in it, and then Jim keeps adding stupid parts to the car.
It's all our fault.
Marco sits there and goes, dude, why can't he'll pull out a Tamiya kit, and he goes, dude, there's 70, 80 pieces. Why do we have to have 130, 140, And I don't know. I guess
some of those pieces are big too, like that under tray. I mean, that's a big chunk of plastic.
That under tray was much nicer because I think that, being that thick in that deal with it, I did an under tray video a few weeks back, showing them how to bend the high impact styrene, where we had to really do that one super thin.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would look stupid,
Yeah.
But we did show them how the high impact styrene. That's a question for you. When was the first time you ran into high impact styrene? It was kind of right after you started, probably a few years.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What did Monogram use?
Well, Monogram started the high impact styrene that I can remember. Actually, after Revell bought them, and they re-released those first 4 kits. Like they did that re-release of the Petty and the Hardys. Okay. That was the first time I seen it.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was breaking it and gluing it back together, and the whole, you've done it.
Yeah.
But
ripping parts off a tree without cutting them off. That kind of
thing.
I
just love it. It has no memory, it's it doesn't have a memory. So you can just manipulate it and walk away, you're done. You don't have to try and bake it, and do things. But so you started, so you were doing t-shirts for basically for racing. Then,
right.
Where your graphic art came from?
My brother, Dusty, who's my middle brother, when I still lived in Iowa, I was still in high school. He used to draw freelance t-shirt artwork. And then where he went to work when he got out of college was completely different from that. Like, had nothing to do with racing or t-shirts or anything like that. But the guy that owned it was interested in starting. Like, he saw him drawing these designs and thought we could make a t-shirt company out of this. So they started doing the artwork and sending it out to get printed somewhere else. And then when I got out of high school, I came down and joined him. And then we ended up starting our own shop between the 3 or 4 of us. And, we did it all. My brother would draw it. I do the color separations, and then we would hand print them. And I did that up until 95, I think. And then in 96, we got offered to move out to Indianapolis and work in Arizona. So both my brother and I moved out here together, and we worked there for 26 years, I think, doing t-shirt artwork. He still does it. But I stopped in, was it 2022 when we started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to where we started, where you didn't do it at night. Right. I mean, it got to where, with Mike's backup and us pushing out 2-3 cars a month, it was like, I
was going to burn out before we started.
Yeah, you're gonna. So I think Mike stepped in and came up with a program to just, hey, let's all combine. I don't think people realize the relationship. When we started, it was me and Jim on an island, and then Mike came in and you came in with him. And then pretty soon, Chad, Chad and Tina over there, I mean, it's really a lot of people involved, Romney and Kelly, as far as the mold cutting and, it's really, Chris, but yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of people that even though indirectly they work, subcontract. I mean, you're just a subcontractor for us. You have your own business, and we contract work from you, and we do that with Chad and with, But we've really put together just an unbelievable team. I don't know if it's luck or whatever, but.
Well, we could probably use twice as many people sometimes. I'm sure Jim could use a couple extra people, and I know I could, but we get it done somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's been it. Well, I think it, in a sense, the economy hurt, but almost helped, because I think at the level we were growing, it would have really got out of hand real quick,
yeah.
So I think with the economy kind of slowing us down, it gave us all a chance to get, acclimated to plan things out a little better and get better cars. I mean, this year's been phenomenal on cars.
Last year, doing the IndyCar kit from scratch, we had to do everything we were normally doing, plus all the instructions, boxes, all new sheets. Between Jim and I, we did so much artwork, and test fitting all the test kits. Plus, like I said, doing all the regular work that we would normally be doing. I mean, we were doing 4 kits that 1 month, plus all the add-ons. So we went. Yeah,
you're averaging 3 cup kits a month, plus I don't know how many IndyCar kits we knocked out, like 4, and then another couple. I mean, we put a lot of kits out last year, and this year we backed off. We said, okay, 2 cup cars, old, new, or 2 new, whatever it may be, and then an IndyCar, maybe 6. That's what we're looking at this year. And we released Colton Herta already, which beautiful car.
Yeah,
that
cool.
Really decals up nice. That's a good looking car.
Yeah, I'm gonna build that one when I get one.
Yeah. And then actually they'll be out by the time people see these, they'll be in the mail. Right? They're going to, as we're recording, they're going to get delivered. This is a Friday, and they're going to get delivered Monday morning. So anyone that ordered one will be in the mail, and yours, of course. Got to keep Clay happy. You know, it is a team, though. It's kind of interesting, and I don't think people realize when we're picking cars. You know, I mean, you'll be on the phone, Mike will be on the phone. What do you guys think? What do you know? I mean, we go through this whole Marco and Jim and Chris. You know, we got this huge conversation. You know, I put it on speaker, and we got 4 guys in my office. And then you and Mike, and you know, we're sitting there going, "What do you think?" And it's worked out really good, I think.
We're all race fans, which helps, I think.
Yeah, but this year with the 2 cars, you know, we're not going to actually, if anything, I think this year we're going to miss a lot of really good cars, you know, because, I mean, they just keep piling in, you know. The Wood Brothers with the Jim Clark thing. We got Kyle Larson's IndyCar, Kyle Larson's World 600 car. We had the Daytona winner. We had Joey's championship. You know, it's just all of a sudden you start looking 2 Cup cars plus, you know, the historic car out of that and 6 Indy cars. You know, you're already going, well, hell, 4 of those slots are already full. You know, we're down to just we're going to be very picky this year, actually.
Yeah, it's got to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, you know, I don't want to, you know, slack on anything, but, you know, at the end of the year, we threw out Priest and
Briscoe.
And then there was reasoning behind it because the team was going away, and it was kind of a, you know, hell, you know, we went through all of that to get that contract, and to not do nothing with it, you know, would be a shame. And they did pretty well, you know.
Well, those are both interesting cars and interesting drivers. So long term, people may come back to them too.
Yeah.
You know.
And one thing, Clay, what we've been doing now, you know, since we make a lot less cars, like our production, because we decided make less and then we can make more different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we started that last year. And so whatever's left over, Marco's been, let's get rid of it, because warehouse space is, you know, very important for a little company like us. I mean, as I always say, between us, we're the garage band. You know, I don't know what instrument you're playing, but you're the drummer. You know, you keep the beat with those decals, you know. And I think Jim's the lead singer, and, you know, because he's drawing up the cars. But what I'm really excited about is the what we got coming out here quick is the multimedia finally. And I know you've seen that we had trouble getting the spun metal. So what we had to do was go back to how they did it when you were a little kid. And Jim's just making all the spun metal parts using the jewelry. I don't even know what you call that casting. But,
like white metal casting or lost wax or something similar to that.
Lost wax, yeah. And then what happens is, so he'll have like a pewter piece or whatever material it is, and then it can take the temperature. We kept trying to use like high temperature 3D printing. The guy melted every bit of that crap we came up with. So finally, Jim, you know, Jim, people don't realize the stuff Jim can do. I mean, he can make jewelry. He's done bronzes. He's done sculpt. I mean, this guy's been sculpting his whole damn life, you know?
Yeah.
And he's really a very talented. That's what I think.
For sure.
I am so lucky and blessed to have guys like you and Jim around me. You know, I just love it. I mean, I'm a model builder. You know, I mean, that's really what it is. I just have a love for racing and model building, and wanted to create something for the kids, for Marco and his brother. And me and Jim just You know, we're doing it. Trust me, you wouldn't get in this business to get rich.
Yeah.
You're getting in this business because you have a love for this business.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be a graphic artist for, Coca-Cola and do well, much better. But I know you're like me, where, you'd rather be involved in racing and doing this cool.
Yeah. All my interests come together in one here.
Yeah. I mean,
racing, modeling, drawing. Yeah. I get to do it all.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been a hell of a ride. And I would just want to say, from me and Jim and everybody, I mean, you are part of the company. Don't get that wrong. But I'll tell you, you are one of the key pieces that made this thing work.
Thank you.
Without you, I maybe we could have got rid of Mike, but
no, that's you brought him up.
Yeah,
you brought him up earlier, and most people probably don't know how much input he has, but he's like the calming influence over all of us, and he's so smart. Well, he's keeps
been
us all on track.
He's also been as I call him, the Godfather. Financially has helped the company. I mean, I'll tell you what, one of the nicest, kindest people I've ever met in my life. Yep. We love joke, and he loves joking. Everything's lighthearted.
Yeah, you two get after each other.
But it's just the relationship, through him to you. But no, Mike pretty much blesses everything we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we take everybody's input serious because he has a ton of experience with all the different decals he sold. He could tell you, hey, that was a dog, Rick.
That's a duck.
I tried to sell those. I couldn't sell 10 sheets,
Yeah.
And, and then you hear it from him. But you've been on, I don't know, God, it's been 100 calls, that we've all been on going, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, he's like, we ain't doing that.
Well, what I was surprised was that the Lotus, I was already in. I was doing it no matter what any of you guys said. And just where, boy, you were on board immediately, and Mike, I mean, he was on board immediately. And I think once people seen the history of the Wood Brothers and, how they won it, I mean, they technically won an Indy 500,
Yeah.
Anyways, this was quite a long video. I hate to use up all your time, but Clay, thank you so much, man, for all you do for this company. I don't think people realize how important, a figure you are to our company, and it's why our kits are great. I think that between Jim making way too many parts, which pisses Mark off, and your artwork is just we're a step above, Yeah, not everything's perfect, but
we try and improve every kit, every decal sheet we do, every instruction sheet, try and get a little bit better each time.
I would say the IndyCars is almost one of the most perfect models I've ever built.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that project, doing the instructions for that and, watching it come together. I had a lot of fun with that project.
The next gen, we learned a lot on that one, as far as
transferred over
clearances and fits, the first time we ever dealt in CAD, to where they gave us CAD drawings and we had to figure out how to shrink
make a model of it.
Yeah, but on the IndyCar, Jim just absolutely nailed it,
Yeah,
and
they're fun to build.
I'm proud of both of them. I think they're just phenomenal work. The decals. I mean, you'll see people complain about, the price. Oh, you guys are a little high price. Well, we make stuff in the USA. We make very small runs. We got the greatest, decal artists in the world. We're making it the greatest decal factory in the world, right? And Chad is no slouch by any means over there, as far as, matching colors and the work that's put into a kit. And all of you guys, I probably have less say than anyone. I'm kind of the guy, I play the band, I play the organ.
You're the conductor.
I'm the guy with the sticks. you're over there in the, as they're saying, playing the cello and whatever. I just kind of wave the sticks and everybody makes it happen. But
I think we all end up playing every instrument by the end of it.
But the bottom of my heart, man, I really do. Me and Jim appreciate everything you do for this company, and I know you go over and above. So thank you, and thank you for all our club members in the hobby. I could speak for all of them. What you've done for this hobby is just amazing, and we'll have you on again down the road. But thank you.
We got it all figured out.
You got it, brother. All right.
Bye.
Boy, that Salvino guy's long-winded.
Yeah, sure.
And now I got my.
Yes, you know what?
Let's go through the kits.
I am in full agreement with what Joseph $363 said. You know what? Just for that, Jim should include more parts and bring the total to a cool 150 parts. I love it.
Yeah. Screw you, Jim.
Whoa.
But anyways, how about that was before I figured out my camera. It sounds like I'm drunk in all the Clay interviews because my camera I had on high def, so my words were like coming out like that. I mean, I watch that and I go, "Oh my god!" But anyways, I wasn't drunk. I swear, I was drinking root beer. But let's go through the kits real quick, Jim.
Ken Nesbitt says you are the Keith Moon of band conductors.
Yeah.
But let's go through the kits. Pop them up on the screen. And Matt, go ahead, fire away what you like.
Hang on, I'll load them as we're talking.
What do you think of that one, Matt?
I like that one. I think it's got a great look this year.
Boy. Yeah, I'm
it
glad
is.
they changed
and
it.
That.
Oh, that's going to be.
They go together well.
Matt's going to build that one.
Of course.
Yeah, that's going to be. I like that one. That Tony the Tiger, great box art, great looking car. Too bad it only made 2 laps. I missed it.
Yeah, and then it changed the whole look of the front.
Man, we got some great cars. That Traveler Whiskey.
That's a great one too.
Dang. And remember, there's some of those on the thing. I think they still are on there if you go today.
Yeah, that one right there. That's the one I'm excited about. I'm excited about that one.
That's probably my favorite.
That is so cool. Yeah, I have to agree on that one.
And of course, the Daytona winner. That everybody has to have that.
That's a good looking car too. That was a great car.
Hey, the box art doesn't do it justice. That car is a good looking car.
It is.
That Herta, it builds up phenomenal. The Herta car, and it's not too hard of a build because you're getting a lot of that in color.
Yeah.
So that one's not a real tough build.
Well, all of them are when you go with the color of the plastic and stuff. They're all really have been going together well. I got to get back onto my my last year's Kyle Larson car because I want to do a video on putting all the big decals on there and stuff. I can't even talk this morning. Geez, I didn't have enough cup of coffee. Carbon fiber. Geez, I want to do a carbon fiber decal video with that.
Yeah,
so cool.
That's what we mentioned, the carbon fiber sheet in the IndyCar. I mean, the amount. I remember we were making it, and we were gonna just add a little piece like Studio 27 does. They charge $25-$30 for it. Jim's showing some of the investment casting there. And nice. All of a sudden, that sheet got the size of the box. And
it's great.
We just kept adding and adding. I don't even know what Studio 27 would charge for a sheet that big. Maybe $50.
I would probably say that would probably be a $45-$50 decal sheet. Easy.
And the way and the fit Clay got on those things, just insane. I mean, when I first put it on, I thought, oh, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be the turbo Ford right there, baby.
Heck
Same motor really is the Lotus 38, except it's turbo.
Yep.
They actually used the same block and everything. There's the turbo.
One of them. Yep.
Yeah. Looking forward to building that one.
So there's lots
of great stuff. We're running way over here. We're 5 minutes over.
Does anybody care? We've still got 90 people hanging out with us. So does anybody care? No.
And you know what? There's no damn racing this weekend. They had a truck race I couldn't find last night. And then you got Formula. How did they say that in Ricky Bobby? Formula One. That's Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh gosh,
Jim won't watch that movie. He hates Will Ferrell.
Oh, I can't stand him.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, but anyways, yeah, that's it. That's all we got today is some Saudi Arabia race, and just gonna have a happy Easter and enjoy it with the family. And I guess we're just wait till next week when the world starts moving again, when we have racing, right?
Yeah.
We're in Talladega, baby. We're going to have a start thinking of your pick, Matt, right now. We're going to have to pick it.
Kyle
3 wide.
Ooh.
You might not get first pick. You know, we'll just take Larson just to take it away from you.
Yeah. Is that tomorrow? Is that tomorrow?
No,
that's next Sunday. Next Sunday.
When is
3 wide, baby? On that.
When does the Barber race it for IndyCars? Isn't that next week?
What?
The Barber race for IndyCar.
It's first weekend in May.
Ah, okay. Okay.
First weekend in May, then they follow it the following weekend with the Indy Road Course. The following weekend with one of my favorite events every year, Pole Day, Saturday and Sunday. I mean, probably the craziest show on earth is actually the qualifying. Probably the highest risk that any driver takes in any form of racing. I don't know. Overseas, they do some crazy stuff.
I think we have a major news flash here in the comments. Richie's Model Car Garage and Junk said Matt finished a build. Did you actually finish a build for one of the things?
No.
Oh, he says he lost it the other day when someone said you never finish a build. So, so you got a perfect track record still?
Yeah, I'm not going to wreck that.
I don't build, so I don't get into those. But maybe I should. Maybe I should.
And I'm the guy that doesn't stop building. I got stuff building 24/7. I had to build a second station. Now I'm thinking about a third one. That way, instead of like resetting up, Matt. I got huge rooms here at this house. So this is my second station, and I'm thinking of setting up a third station for the white metal coming. And then that way I don't have to put it away and start over each project. I can just go station to station to station, depending. I'm going over to that station. By the way, real quick before we got off, I did some testing, and I've used, I always forget the name of what's the little bottles of stuff that has exhaust and stuff that airplane guys use. Airbrush.
Yeah, it's right on the tip of
what's
my
the
tongue.
name of that, Jim?
Alclad?
But anyways, they have.
Is it Alclad?
Alclad lacquer clear you can put over Revell or chrome or Maltol chrome. And I did a test with that and spastics, right? I went side by side and I airbrushed the Maltol on because it's a thicker, but you cannot really airbrush the spastics on. It is so thin and it self levels. So I got a really great brush, big, thick one, and I painted it on, right? And the look is almost equal. Maybe the other one was better than the Spastics by a hair, you know, but the Spastics actually, after a couple days, you could rub your finger right over it, no problem, it just slides. Where the I've already forgot the name, Jim.
Malaho?
The other stuff. No,
Alclad.
Jim already forgot too. Alclad.
Yeah.
Alclad, your finger sticks and like it. So if my suggestion is the Spastics probably is a little dingier, maybe, I mean, by a hair. I mean, we're talking under goggles and the whole bit, but it's a better product. And my suggestion is brush it on. It self levels. I airbrush the Revell Chrome on. I just spray it into a cup and then pour it into the bottle, you know, and spray it. Comes out really great. Self
I'm gonna
leveling.
get some of that.
But the clear coat over it, the clear coat, the Spastic is superior to handle. You know, I'm not going to say it's superior in look.
You really don't have to worry about clear coating the Spastic then, huh?
The Spastic is a clear coat.
It is a clear.
Oh, okay.
The Spastic is a clear coat, and it's like it is so runny. Don't ever try and use your can. That's just you got a mess on your hands there.
Okay.
You've got to spray it out of the can.
Oh,
I was going to airbrush it with a one tip, but what happens is it's so thin and it doesn't dry, you know, like a lacquer very quickly. Right. So it'll start running immediately. So you can only put a little bit on. You don't have a lot of control. So I found a really soft brush and brush it on, and it will self level. And
this is all clear.
Great,
and you,
maybe I'll,
but you put both of those
handle.
And you put both of those on the
same.
Yeah,
I did them side by side.
And you put it on the same type of chrome paint, the Malato chrome paint.
I use Revell because they are the same.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no matter what, you have to, if you want to get a super shiny chrome, both of these are going to take it down a little notch, you know what I mean, and look more like polished metal, which is the look I want anyways. Yeah, but that's what I want. Anyway. No matter what, you can't handle that stuff. If you put Revell or any of those on, I mean, I don't know what it is about them, but they just never ever totally set.
No.
You can go back to them, put fingerprints on them a month later, you know? Yeah. Or marks anyways. But yeah, the Spastic, you can brush that on. It's pretty awesome. Super thin. And that was my little test. So I'm going to go with Spastics on this project.
All righty.
So anyways, that's it.
That's it. And
got some great kids.
Mm-hmm.
Go down like.
Let me bring up Mia. There she is.
All
Boop
right.
the button. Boop that button. So, yep.
We got a professional in Matt.
All right, boys. Thank you. You have a great rest of the weekend. I don't know what you did or said.
God bless y'all. Have a great weekend.
And debuting in just
I don't hear the buzz.
Debuting in just moments is the unboxing video on the JR Motorsports car, and I put a link there if you want it. So thanks folks for spending your Saturday morning, evening, whatever time it is. We got our friend Sarah in the UK that's watching. It's the afternoon, evening. We got one of our friends in Japan is on, and hey, Rick, he's building some of our stuff for the Shizuoka Hobby Show. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's good. Thanks,
Joe.
Yep. So anyway, guys, have a great weekend.
Take some pictures.
What? What did you say? Oh, take.
I said take some pictures.
Oh,
take some pictures. Send them.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Let me find my exit clips, and we're gone. Come on, let's end the stream. And yes, I do want.